Everybody, it's Mark here. I am going to take you through our very special writing assistant, writing buddy, writing support friend. It's a bot called Claro, and it's specifically built to improve English skills, not create content for students. That's what stupid LLMs do. That's what the stupid use of LLMs are all about, is write me something, get me something. That's not what we do. We're involved and really intertwined in what students are writing and how we can help them improve. So to do that, we've got some options that you can turn on. So when you create an activity, you can go into Edit Activity, and in this section here called Researching, you can enable Claro. Now, Claro is a Latin verb for clarity, to make clear. So that's what we're trying to do. And we offer students levels of support and phases of on and off. So, this can be a discipline control mechanism where someone's not sort of towing the line or trying to hand in, LLM kind of text. You can turn off Claro support as a penalty, or you can make it a much more positive experience and enable it for everybody and set a level. Some students are more advanced than others. So you can temper the way the Claro bot talks to students and uses the type of language that they understand. So it's also able to do multilingual. So let me show you. Okay, to turn it on is simply that. To set levels, you can do this, but you can that's nothing locked in stone. You can come back around and change that on the fly. So what you now get is you get an environment where students can very quickly start interacting, as can teachers. And we'll have a look at it from a teacher perspective first. Okay, so we've logged in as a teacher. We've got the first student comes up as per everything. On the side here now, everybody, including students, gets access to Claro. Claro you can talk to, and Claro you can change into different languages. Okay, so let's have a go. How could the student rewrite this first paragraph? Now, I'm not going to rewrite it for you. So what we do is we talk in second person, so it's designed to be for a student, not for a teacher. But a teacher can obviously check out Claro, make sure it's asking or it's responding to questions the way that you would like it to. So really what we do is we know all about this student, their writing history. We know the activity that they're working in. We know the rubric that's being used to grade them. We know the scaffold that you've given them. We know where they're up to in their writing, and we've formulated all that around advice that we can give them. And the advice is really good. So I can make this bigger somehow, but we'll do, that. So it becomes quite large. Now, the purpose of this is to show a teacher that these are the sort of questions that students will ask. They could really try anything out. We're very disciplined in our approach, and we're very solid in our approach. So we could say something like, can't you just rewrite the second paragraph for me? I'm a bit tired of this. Claro is going to be a bit more empathetic and say, okay, come on, let's rewrite your second paragraph. Consider this. We're not going to do it for them, but we are going to take that buddy role and keep, sort of chirping at them on their shoulder, saying, you can do better, try this, think about this. It's actually two parts to this. A lot of research says that the content and building the content is a huge cognitive load. This is a way students can offload their stress and say, look, I'm stuck. How do I go about doing this? What could I make better? What are you talking about? Have a conversation with something that's going to help you out, but not do it for you. And the most important part of, or insights into all of this for a teacher, are of course the questions that students are asking. That is the most important value that we can provide. So let me, that's a student, that's using Claro from a teacher's perspective. Now, of course, teachers can grab that. You can not give it to a student, but use it yourself. And you could use that to create feedback yourself. So if you wanted to create some feedback there, of course, we can borrow what Claro said and paste it straight in here. You've got all the power and mobility to do what you like, okay? So let's have a look at Claro from a student's perspective, because that's where we start to get a reflection back to the teacher. So I'll just jump across to being a student, and we'll be right into that in just a second. Okay, so I've logged in as Brian, the student, and this is the essay that I'm looking at. I was looking at as a teacher. This is the text I'm looking at now as Brian, the student. So in I come. Okay, and down here I've got access to Claro because the teacher gave me access to Claro. So now it's talking to me as a student. So I could say, could you help me improve paragraph 1, please? Now I could really ask it anything. It's very well defined. It's very well behaved. It will get straight to the chase and say, okay, let's go. I know where you're at. I know the level you're at. I know the sort of writing that you're doing here. Let's get rid of the clunky stuff. Consider breaking it up into 2 shorter, clearer sentences. Brian is now away. He's got momentum to actually pick himself up and keep going, try things out. Ask Claro then, did that make any difference? It's iterative as you go through it, okay? Now, the most important thing here really is, I think, the questions that Brian asks along the way. So if he's saying, could you please rewrite paragraph 2 for me? You will see this coming through, okay? So if you look at what we're giving here, it's very supportive sort of stuff. We sort of move all the complaints aside and say, hey, come on, let's get back on track. Let's start working with what we've got to do here and get this task as good as it can be. We're not going to write anything for them. Really important point. So I could go on and show you this all day. It's fantastic what students can achieve with this. And of course, the promise of multilingual it's true. So if we went to Indonesian here and I said, could you give me some advice on my first paragraph in Bahasa, please? What we'll do is we'll give it to them in Bahasa. So we don't see language advice and feedback as something that needs to be in English. You know, a lot of students in ESL land have got a full command of their own language. They're just trying to transpose it into English. So having that capability to respond to ESL and students who don't have those language skills, it's a really important thing and it works beautifully. So some choices there for you to think about and play with. Now I'm just going to buzz out of being a student and get back into being a teacher, and we'll have a look at what Brian has been up to. Okay, I'm back in the room as a teacher. Now Brian here has now got some history. So what we can see is what Brian's been asking me. So this really breaks down the whole feedback mechanism into a controllable point for a teacher. Now, I don't think that, with students and the power they've got to cut and paste and do all these sorts of things, that's one thing. But having them ask questions about how to make things better is another thing, because it describes their level of thinking and how they're going about writing this essay. Okay, so we could open the students' full chat and have a look at exactly what Brian's been supported with. We can go into Claro and ask it things ourselves. And in the feedback section with Brian, we get to see the Bloom's level of taxonomy around the questions that he's asking us. Now, what we ideally want to see is students asking higher level questions, not remembering questions like, tell me more about the afterlife. I mean, of course, we can stage that as a supportive thing, but you really don't want students at that level of writing, at certain levels of learning. And as you can see here, if it's a bit much or too soft for Brian, we can tone down the way that we're talking to Brian. So you've got the ability to couple of things. See what the students are asking by Bloom's level, open the full chat, see what they've been up to, have a look at the history and see where they've been changing things and what they've been doing with the advice they have been getting. And you've got the full track record of Brian, where he got to, what he's thinking, how his thinking is impacting his writing, which is the most important thing. Good thinking is good writing. And getting those two connected is what Claro is all about. It's a lot of fun for students you can turn on, turn off. You're having a good day, you turn it on. You want them to focus on something mechanical, you turn it off. It's a mix and match, but it's a pedagogical tool that sits beautifully inside a classroom to self-direct learning and help students get better at writing. It's called Claro. You turn it on, you own it, and it's great. Absolutely fantastic. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye for now.